talking about the functional anatomy as well as physiology of the esophagus, stomach as well as duodenum. So what exactly is esophagus? Esophagus is nothing but it's a muscular tube. It's about 25 centimeters extending from the cricoid cartilage till the cardiac orifice of the stomach. So it extends from the cricoid and goes all the way till the cardiac orifice of the stomach. So this is what we call as the esophagus. So esophagus has an upper sphincter and it has a lower sphincter, okay, and it has like a peristaltic wave-like movement which propels the food forward, okay. The stomach, its major function is once it gets the food from the esophagus, the stomach, all it does is it retains the food, grinds the food, and then again actively propels the food all the way into the upper part of the small intestine. So now in the stomach, you know, there's something known as the gastric acid. This gastric acid is a very important part. The major function of gastric acid, one is it protects the stomach, okay, from bacteria, and one more thing is it converts pepsinogen into pepsin. Okay, so gastric acid secretion is again maintained by 3 hormones. So one is the gastrin, then one more is histamine. Histamine, not exactly a hormone, but histamine also maintains it. And one more is the acetylcholine. So these 3 components, these 3 substances are going to be stimulating the secretion of the gastric acid. So how does it exactly work? So let's just take these cells. Okay, these are the what we call as the G cell. Okay, so it has, let's just take the receptors. Okay, so this is an gastrin receptor. So let's say gastrin binds here. This is histamine receptor, H2 receptor, and this receptor over here is your acetylcholine receptor. That is your M3 receptor. So H2, M3, and you have the gastrin receptor. So what's going to happen is when there is the binding of these things, here, right over here, you have a pump. This is a hydrogen potassium ATPase. Okay, so when there is a binding of either the gastrin or the histamine or the acetylcholine, it stimulates this, throws out hydrogen, and also there's a movement of chlorine outside. So it forms a HCl. Okay, do you get this? Okay, so now let me talk about 3 important hormones in your stomach, your GI. One is your gastrin. So where is gastrin secreted from? Gastrin is secreted from certain cells known as the G cells. Okay, so these G cells are present predominantly in the antrum, the stomach's antrum, that is the pylorus. Next you have somatostatin. Okay, somatostatin is secreted from D cells, present all over the stomach. And then the next one we have is the ghrelin. Okay, so gastrin stimulates the secretion of acid. Somatostatin inhibits the secretion of acid. Gastrin also stimulates mucosal growth. Ghrelin, it again stimulates the secretion of acid, and it also increases the appetite and also increases the moment of food or gastric emptying. Okay, next we'll talk about the protective factors. So now you have large amounts of acid. Let's just take this to be the stomach. Okay, and then you have HCl all around your stomach. HCl has a high potential to destroy the mucosa of the stomach lining. So we need to stop this. We need to protect the stomach. We need HCl. We also need something to protect the stomach. So this is done by bicarbonate. Okay, so the bicarbonate is stimulated by prostaglandin, mucin, and trefoil factor family. Okay, so these three things stimulates the bicarbonate, which again lines the stomach and it protects your mucosa from HCl.